It's Daytona International Speedway, a facility built for stock car racing back in the late 50s. But today, nearly 50 of the world's greatest triathletes will take on 3 disciplines here, all encompassed inside of this racetrack. One of those, the best, Vincent Luis. He will be out there, and right now, the top-ranked triathlete of this group. Jason West, the American, will be going after him, as well as Canadian Jackson Laundry, all fighting to have a great finish to their 2022 season. On the women's side, Jackie Herring comes back to defend her title from a year ago. It took a last lap pass, as we just heard, to get that win. Will Julie Darren be the top contender for her today, or could it be Sarah Perez-Sala, who started the season off with that horrific bike accident in Miami? Rach McBride also on a great season. They will try to continue and cap it all off today. It's Clash Endurance Daytona from Daytona Beach, Florida. And what a picture-perfect day it is for a competition. Hello, everyone. Rick Allen alongside 15-time long-distance champ Belinda Granger, as well as our newcomer Brent McMahon is with us. And Brent, an Olympian, you are a World Cup champion, but also you're pretty darn good at transition. We saw that a year ago when you had a great transition, earned you a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, you know, it was great to be down there on that red carpet racing last year and picking up $1,000 that I put in the bank, being a banker's father or son, you know. So, but it's awesome to be up here right now, watching it from the booth and seeing what's going to happen out there. One
of the big changes is the distance of this course, and it's a little bit shorter this year, Belinda. What will that mean for these athletes?
Look, honestly, it's going to completely change the dynamic. We know that we've got just as many short course superstars here today as we do long distance athletes. It's really going to change the overall dynamic, and that's what I'm most excited to see. All right, so I mentioned Olympic, you've done full distance, you've done both disciplines. How will these athletes attack this track?
Well, I think, you know, for the long course guys, you know, they're just going to have to be patient. Those short course guys, they're used to combative racing, and they're all going to get out together. So they may cause a problem for themselves, and those long course guys, if they just are patient and ride well, I think they're going to do.
Okay, so we keep mentioning short course versus long course. Belinda, tell us a little bit about some of the short course athletes we should watch.
Well, one that I think we have to watch out for today, number 3, wearing bib number 3, Julie Darren from Switzerland. So strong over all 3 disciplines, and she has quite a bit of experience over the longer distance, but also a lot of natural speed from short course racing. Valerie Barthélemy from Belgium, very, very strong swim bike runner. And what I love most about Valerie, she is aggressive, and she will be aggressive from the gun. In the men's, well, Vincent Luis, I mean, say no more. He is an absolute superstar, and coming into this race really fit and healthy.
And the long course, you know, Jackie Herring, returning champion. She just set PRs, personal records, in 5K and half marathon just recently. So she's running super fast. So you got to watch her. And, you know, on the men's side, Jason West, but then there's the 2 Canadians, and, you know, obviously I'm a Canadian, so I gotta pick one of those guys. They're doing really well, and it's fun to watch them.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what is in front of these athletes by looking at the track map of what they have to accomplish today.
Of course, they start today 2 laps in Lake Lloyd. Athletes have to exit the water at the end of lap 1, also known as an Aussie exit. They'll then dive back in to complete lap 2 and making the Ranger transition.
Out of T1, 15 laps on the track. It's flat and very fast, so there's no hiding on this. You stop pedaling, you stop moving.
And then onto the run, 3 laps here today. Hardest thing about this run is there is absolutely no shade. So as it starts to heat up, so does that track, and that can make it difficult for the athletes.
Well, let's get out there in the elements. And Alicia Kay, one of the first triathletes to compete here at Daytona, is with us.
Yeah, I'm down here at the swim start. I've got some very nervous professional women behind me. What I'm really excited to see today is who is going to excel. Will we see a long course woman or a short course woman cross the line first today?
Alicia, I'm so excited to be part of this team right now. I do not have the credentials that you guys have in the world of triathlon, but I've covered thousands of laps here at the Daytona International Speedway. Today, I'm going to see something that I've never seen before. I'm going to see some of the best in the world of triathlon, swim and bike and run run here at this amazing course. And the athletes that I spoke with this week, they actually told me that this is one of the very first races that they sign up for when this schedule is released for so many different reasons, right? The atmosphere, it doesn't get much cooler than this here at Daytona International Speedway. The logistics, everything is so self-contained. It takes one more element out of their race day. And then, of course, some of them, like Andrew Starkowitz, just huge NASCAR fans. So it's a beautiful day here in Daytona. It's going to be mid-70s. The water temp is 70 degrees, so it is a non-wetsuit event. But, Rick, something we're going to watch as the day progresses, up to 21-mile-per-hour gusts. And you know that on that backstretch, you can really feel some of those gusts, so they'll feel it on the bike today.
Let's take a look at the highlights as we get underway here in Clash Endurance Daytona. Sara Perez-Sala following Jackie Herring into the water. And it was from the very beginning, Val Bartholomew out front.
And she did exactly what she said she was going to do. She took it out hard. She was aggressive from the gun. Sara Perez-Sala, of course, on her feet, with Julie Darragh just dangling at the back there, trying desperately to get on the feet of Sara Perez.
Top two out of the water, Val Bartholomew, as well as Sara Perez-Sala. And those two have stuck together this entire race.
Fantastic to see Jackie Herring having a great swim. You know, she's not renowned for her swimming strength, but she's in such a good position right now.
And enter T1. Look at this, almost side by side now, as Sara Perez-Sala has moved just to the side. And Val, look at this move. Val is going to come out of the water second, it looks like.
Wow. So Sara Perez-Sala deciding, you know what, I'm leading this swim out today. I want to be first into T1. Maybe she's going for that T1 transition, Preem?
Yeah, I think she's committing to this bike. You know, she wants to get there fast, and she wants to get out there before anybody else. She doesn't want anybody right close to her. She's going to set the pace right here. That was quick.
Look, wow.
I like that. I like that T1. She's going for it.
And to think that she's beaten out the short course specialists who are renowned for their fast transition speed.
Shannon.
Guys, she looks so strong as well. You saw Valerie Bartholomew. She was having a little bit of a struggle with that swim skin, and I guess that's what you're risking, right, when you wear those into the water. But Sara Perez, so fast here in T1 as some of the other women are headed in here right now. You got Julie Darragh. Haley Chura is here as well, so you can see there some of them do have the swim skins on. There's Julie Darragh trying to pull hers off right now. Haley looks like she's struggling a little bit with it getting off around her feet. I know you guys have mentioned sometimes they'll cut those. I think maybe just with the wetsuits, the longer wetsuits. But I know personally I have struggled many times with a wetsuit or swim skin, so I feel their pain.
Shoes already on the bikes. They'll jump on. They can mount once they leave T1, but not before. Must have the helmets on.
Yep, helmets must be clipped before they touch their bikes, so they really need to be on and clipped. As we can see, Sif Madsen there making her way out right on the heels of Haley Chura. We saw Julie Darragh, she's just about to come out behind. That's Angelica Olmo of Italy. So next out.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the differences in transitions. You know, the short course athletes, it's just bang, bang, bang. You know, Sara, though, long course athlete.
Exceptional.
She nailed it, and she didn't have a swim skin that she was wearing. So I'd like to put my money on her for winning the money in the bonus.
That's good, coming from a banker's son.
And you can see on screen right now, that is Jackie Herring. Recognize that stroke. She's got such a long, slow stroke rate, but particularly when you compare it to our short course athletes. And here she comes, our defending champ from last year. Great swim from Jackie. She's put herself in a really good position.
No, it's great to see her. She stayed in touch as long as she could to that group. So there's only that small little bit, so she has a fast transition here. She can get back in touch, and, you know, she's going to do her own pace on the bike here. She's a strong cyclist.
Yeah, guys, and remember, she told me that she's recently PR'd in her 5K and her half marathon, so she has a ton of confidence going into that run portion. Even last year when she came off the bike, she said she did not think it was winnable. So you saw her get through transition pretty seamlessly, just trying to struggle with that swim skin just a tiny bit. And I guess that's a big thing. Do you wear one or you don't wear one?
Standing here at just as right as the women are getting on their bikes and they're getting into their shoes and finding their rhythm, I'm watching Jackie Herring just go by. She looks super strong. I'm also standing next to someone who knows this course and venue very well, Magnus Ditlev. His partner, Sif Madsen, had a blistering transition one. Magnus, what did you think of Sif's swim?
Yeah, I'm really happy with how she swam, and also the first transition was good, so she's currently in 3rd place, which is really nice. She has been injured a lot, and this is her first non-draft race, and it's good to see that she's doing well.
What a start for the women as Sara Perez-Sala leads out of Transition 1 as she looks for redemption after a bike wreck earlier this year in Miami. We'll be back to Daytona after this. Welcome back to Clash Endurance from Daytona as we close in on the finish of the women's bike race. Let's take a look back at what's happened so far. When the athletes came out of the water and headed to T1, it was Sara Perez-Sala who decided that she wanted that bonus. A very quick transition for her.
Of course, Jackie Herring had a great swim for Jackie. I was really, really surprised how close she was to that lead group.
Sara just leading. She took the lead right away, and she wanted to dominate this race, and she's stayed there. She's committed.
That was Val Bartholomew that was back there. Angie Olmo was the fastest first lap, and so she received the bonus thanks to Clash Endurance. And then Sif Madsen made the push and all the way up to 2nd place on the bike. And you see Magnus Ditlev, the thumbs up saying, "You're gaining, you're gaining."
And then we have Haley Churup. Again, just playing a smart move, swam well, riding really smoothly and efficiently. So she's in a great spot.
Great shot over there of that plane landing as Jackie Herring making her way through the field.
And here we are. They're all together. They're all close. This is going to be a barn burner on the run.
This is exactly what we wanted, though, wasn't it, Brent? We wanted to see the short course women, the long course women coming to get ahead. But this lady, Sara Perez-Sala, she's led from the swim and has not looked back.
So smooth, so good.
And now coming up on the final lap for Sara Perez-Sala. Again, just a 37-second gap over Madsen. It has been a clean bike. There have been no penalties, no drafting penalties that anyone will have to serve up to this point. And so Sara will now be focusing on this transition as you see her now start to get the feet out of the shoes, stretch a little bit, knowing that she'll be hard on the brakes to pop off of the bike and make that transition again. She was the fastest in T1. We'll see what she's able to do in T2. Right foot coming out of the shoe, left foot coming out of the shoe. And Sara Perez-Sala now on the brakes. They head to the Captiva Spine Transition 2, and Shannon's there.
Yeah, guys, as you can see, she's just pulling her feet out for her sneakers right there as they stay clipped on, hitting that dismount part. You can see her. Yeah, you can definitely tell that she's making some faces that tell the story of how hard she pushed it on that bike. We mentioned before, she does have that nutrition in her drink bottle. No socks for Sara Perez as she puts those sneakers on. She's already got those tied up there, the little clips, removing her helmet, grabbing her watch. And guys, she did win that first preen, remember. She's looking pretty good right here, but I'd love to know, Belinda, how long does it take, for Brent as well, for you to get your legs underneath you when you've just been grinding for as long as they have, as we have another athlete headed towards T2 right now. This is Sif Madsen right now, taking her little stroll down pit road. All these ladies look so strong, you guys, even though they just came off, essentially not taking a break for the entire time that they were out on that racetrack. I'll hand it off to you guys. I'd love to know what I asked you, how long it takes you to get your legs underneath you.
And interesting to see, Shannon, Sif has gone with socks, Sara went without, and we'll see that throughout this race. You'll have some of the women putting socks on, others deciding, nope, I'm going sans socks. But yeah, it's never a nice feeling. It's something you need to train. But you can see straight away the cadence on Sif, really impressed with that. Nice fast cadence out of transition, whereas Sara Perez-Sala was that little bit slower. As you can see, Olmo also coming in now. So Angie Olmo, she's had a great ride, looking very, very strong.
She will have a fast transition. This is a short course athlete that knows what they're doing. She's going to rack I'm thinking she doesn't have socks. So, yeah, she's going to be in and out.
Sara Perez-Sala continues to lead after a strong bike, but Angie Olmo and Sif Madsen are looking to track her down as the run gets underway. More action from Daytona next. Welcome back to Clash Endurance from Daytona. As the women continue the run, let's take a look at how the run got started. Coming into T2, it was Sara Perez-Sala that was fastest in, and then a little bit longer it took her to get through T2. Seth Madsen was second into transition.
Even with that little bobble, she still got the bonus. So she was just committed to being fast, and you just take whatever happens, whether you bump into somebody or not.
Again, that was Julie Darren right there on screen. Olmo falling back, loses second place. Angie Olmo able to go by Seth Madsen. And then the strength of Angie Olmo getting a little coaching assistance there as the coach runs alongside to give the information.
Julie Darren's going out hard and setting the fastest first lap. She committed and she knew she had to make up time on the run, so she went for it and she's holding it.
And then the pass for Olmo out front of Sara Perez-Sala.
Still
the two staying about 13 seconds apart. Still in the turn here at Daytona. As you mentioned, Brent, how long and difficult this line of sight is at this course.
She still looks fantastic. I mean, still got a great turnover. Interesting fact about Angie Olmo, I believe she speaks about 5 or 6 different languages fluently. So incredible. Italian, Spanish, French, English, and I think there's 1 or 2 others that I'm forgetting here, but just, you know, at 26 years of age, amazing.
Yeah, and she was one of the wild card athletes into this event. Wild card. So, you know, we didn't know what we were going to get. Well, look at this. We've got an amazing race from someone that may not have been selected to come into it.
That's right. And of course, we have got a couple of wild cards, Angie being one of our wild cards on the female side. We have a couple for the men. And all that means is that this was an invitation-only race here in Daytona, and we just picked the top athletes on their rankings. So top rankings on long distance rankings and short distance rankings, and we combined those. But some of these women, due to illness or the fact that they've been out with injury, and Angie is one of those, hasn't raced for quite a long period of time, her ranking wasn't where it needed to be. But I think Alicia Kay, who is in charge of the professional liaison here at Clash Endurance, knew that Angie Olmo was the goods, and so was able to offer her one of the very few wild cards on offer here. But great. I think that was a very, very wise choice.
Yeah, and it's great. That's a great thing about this event, you know, where it is an exclusive event. You do have to essentially qualify to get in and get invited, you know, but to be able to take a chance on some of these athletes, you know, since the Olympics, she hasn't raced that much. So, but you can see talent in athletes, and, you know, for Alicia to identify that and go, hey, let's put her in.
She took advantage of the opportunity that was given to her, that wild card opportunity, and now she can see the finish line here at Daytona. She'll start to hear the crowd. Just under 2 hours and 40 minutes she's been competing. She glances over her shoulder, looks at her watch, and there the cheers come. After the disappointment of the Tokyo Olympics, she took an extended break away from the sport, had to get her mind right, get the love, the passion of this sport back again. And she's done it here as she makes her way into the tunnel. The checkered flag is waving. She's getting ready to grab.
Oh, look at the emotion.
The emotion's coming now.
And I had a feeling this was going to be the case.
Amazing.
So incredibly emotional across this finish line.
She grabs the banner, and it's Angie Olmo, the winner of Clash Endurance Daytona.
And, you know, for Angie Olmo, this isn't just a win for this particular race. This is a win for triathlon. It's a win for her. She really thought that there was going to be a chance that she was going to walk away from the sport for good. I think this win here today is going to mean so much more. And look at this young woman. Look at this
smile. Huge smile on the face of Sara Perez-Sala, and she will come home second.
Fantastic. Awesome. She is so happy with that. She is so happy with that. She put it out there. She rode off the front all by herself all day.
Catch me if you can.
Yep.
That's what she said.
And only one caught her. Only one, and it was an Olympian.
And, you know, Sara Perez-Sala, she hasn't been without her issues this year with COVID only a few weeks ago. She's had stomach issues that they just couldn't get on top of. Both of these women here have overcome adversity. And to see them in first and second place, it's truly incredible. Oh,
Here
look
comes
at this.
Julie Darren.
Yep, Julie Darren has managed to hold off the flying Jackie Herring. So Jackie just running out of real estate.
But that's great. You know, her bike didn't come in till last night. She was putting it together last night. She didn't know if it was going to come at all. And, you know, she comes over top and goes, you know what, I'm still going to put it out there. And she gets that last spot on the podium.
Third place for Julie Darren. And she'll join the top two right there on the red carpet, seated. 26-year-old Olmo. And Shannon is right down there in the mix.
Angie, we saw you coming through the finish line here, and the guys up in the booth and the gals up in the booth were remarking on the emotions that they saw on your face. Listen, I know you gave it all, so physically worn out, but emotionally and just from a love of this sport aspect, how big was this?
It was big. This year I passed a really big, I'm sorry. I had a really hard time. I had a big depression and I thought I was done. But after some friend of mine got me back, and I did it for myself today. And I think like I can't thank anyone. I don't have anyone anymore that is supporting me because of my burnout. And I just can't thank my coach because he's always been behind me, and my boyfriend Leo, and my family and my friends that got me here because it was too. It's just when you pass hard times, it's gonna always get better. So I'm really happy for this win today.
As we take a look at the top 10, and we mentioned at the top of the show, how would it play out with the short course athletes versus the long course athletes? Well, Angie Olmo, a short course athlete that ended up on the top of the podium.
Well, if you look at that top 5, 3 out of the 5 are long distance athletes. And if you look at the top 10, it's a pretty even split, to be honest. So, yeah, it surprises me. I thought we would see a few more of our short course athletes at the pointy end of the field. But good to see that our long course athletes, Jackie Herring and Haley Chura, of course, both from the USA, 4th and 5th place. Great races from them. Sara Perez-Sala, another of our long course athletes, in 2nd.
Oh, let's talk about this race. I mean, my goodness, the swim and the bike. Tell me what happened on that run for you, because it was such a dominant day.
Was a tough run because it's my worst sport. So I know that I suffer a lot, and I know Angie, Haley, Jackie, and Julie are better runners than me. So I start carefully because I had cramps, small cramps. So it will be a long day. And I feel good when Angie passed me. Try to go with her, but I couldn't. So careful and go to the finish line.
Julie, 3rd place at Clash Daytona. How was it out there today?
Yeah, it was a bit of an up and down. I'm really pleased with to come away with the podium. That was the aim, and to catch up in the run and to hang on was tough, but I'm really happy to
Angie Olmo makes a late pass on Sara Perez-Sala and comes away with an incredible victory for the Italian. When we come back to Daytona, it will be the men taking center stage. Clash Endurance Daytona. It's the men's turn to take on this unique track here at Daytona International Speedway, where they will swim in Lake Lloyd. Then they will hit the bikes and go around the 2.5-mile high banks here of the World Center of Racing as they're warming up, getting ready to get in the water. Take a look at the top 10 on the men's side here and kind of point out a few of who you think will be either on the short track or short course or long course, the strengths that they bring to this.
Well, undoubtedly our #1 seed going in, wearing bib number 52, has to be Vincent Louis from France. 3-time Olympian, 2-time world champion. Just recently won his first WTS race back in Bermuda. Since the year 2000, he's in good form. He's coming in fit, healthy, and hungry.
And I think, you know, on the long course side, you've got Jackson Laundry. He's explosive on the bike. He'll be back out of the water, but I think he's going to commit to moving to the front of the race and putting his hat in the ring.
The men getting ready to kick off Clash Endurance Daytona. Vincent Louis, the highest ranked triathlete here, with Matt Hansen getting in the water next. The start underway, and of course, we knew it was going to be a sprint to that first buoy.
Henry just taking it out hard. You know, he wanted to get to the front and he wanted to get that preem.
Vincent Louis in the yellow cap right there in second.
Schumann winning the preem. Vincent Louis right on his feet. Seth Ryder there.
This is setting up to be a great race.
Of course, that Aussie exit diving in to start lap 2. Oop, and there we go. Treating it as a slippery slide instead of dive.
That was actually Jason West just at the back there. So he obviously committed to getting back into that group. So he's really focused.
And again, Vincent Louis takes the top spot away from Henry Schumann. And Louis now trying to put a little distance behind him, but it's not working out as Henry Schumann is right there with him. Ryder and Sharp also in the top 4.
And our lead group of 4, and look at this. You've got Vincent Louis at the front, Henry Schumann in the green cap, Seth Ryder. But just watch the green cap of Henry Schumann here.
So smooth, these guys.
So smooth. Both Henry Schumann and Vincent Louis, 2 of the best swimmers in the sport of triathlon.
That was Henry again, just looking back, just checking where he is. He's obviously really comfortable. He's able to assess the race while he's in the middle of it. So he's comfortable behind Vincent there.
They're not
he's
redlining
happy.
it. They're in a good position right now.
And another bonus coming up as soon as they exit the water and get into T1, transition 1, the fastest through that also can get a bonus of $1,000. So that is coming up right here. About ready to exit the water for the men. Again, Vincent Louis out front, Henry Schumann running in the second spot right now.
So yeah, this lead 4, they're quotes, all short course athletes. You know, Matt Sharp, the long distance, you know, in there, but they're all used to really fast transitions. So this is going to be an exciting switch over from swim to bike.
And if you look there, you can see that Vincent Louis and has started to pick it up. Henry Schumann there started to pick it up. You can see that it's just starting. You can see Matt Sharp is still there, just teetering on the back. What I love about these 2 athletes as they head into transition, both of these 2, Vincent Louis and Henry Schumann, both coming back from severe injury.
And this is really tricky, getting out of the water. They know they have a short transition, so getting this gear off.
Shannon.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, look at how spread out they are between their transitions. Their bikes are, well, Vincent Louis on one end, Henry Schumann is on the other end. They have tons of space between each other, not unlike or not like we saw in the women's race where we had women, when they came into T2, really getting on top of each other, and you could see them starting to make their way out now. Rick, it reminds me a lot of like when we cover NASCAR, you know, you pick your stalls around guys that you're not going to come in on a green flag pit stop. That's kind of what it looked like down here.
But not as much room, Shannon. So they are definitely right on top of each other there in transition 1.
And Shannon, interesting point you made. Now, they don't get to choose where they are in transition. We've done that by rankings. We've taken their long course rankings, short course rankings. As you see, Jonas Schomburg is trying very, very hard. He wants this transition bonus. Look at him. He's absolutely flying. He is going for it. So Jonas Schomburg of Germany, I'm pretty sure he is going to get that bonus. Wow.
I recognize that look.
We saw it a year ago from
just
you.
like you.
Yeah, that was impressive. The men's event is just underway as Seth Ryder, Henry Skuman, and Vincent Louis lead the way after Transition 1 here in Daytona. Welcome back to Clash Endurance from Daytona International Speedway. Let's show you how we got to this point in the men's bike. Out of the water first is Vincent Louis and Henry Skuman, and they will lead into T1. Seth Ryder, an impressive T1, as he has a great transition and will make his way out onto the track first. But he wasn't the fastest in T1. Nope. Transition 1, and the Captiva Spine $1,000 bonus goes to Jonas Schomburg for the fastest T1. There's Starkey making up ground. Didn't get out of the water as quick as he wanted to, but such a strong cyclist. Roberto Sanchez, he has issues, and that will end his day. So Roberto Sanchez out of the competition. Nicholas Gilbert, he decided to take advantage. When you're at a NASCAR track, very unique to Clash Endurance, you can have a pit stop. It was a quick stop, and Nicholas Gilbert gets back out on track. Thomas Bishop goes from 4th to 1st on a very strong bike. Almost a minute he has put between himself and second. Seth Ryder in front of that second pack, but it's been Thomas Bishop that really has been impressive. Starkowitz running about the same pace as Bishop, but Starkey still a minute 8 back.
Well, look, right now we've already got Starkowitz has overtaken Skuman and is now riding behind Vincent Louis. Look at this now on screen. So he's not even content with sitting there. He's gone straight past Louis as well, and he's about to go past Seth Ryder. This is incredible. Starkowitz now in second place on course, and I don't think he's going to stop there, Brent. I think he's going to keep going.
Yeah, he's going to keep going. He's putting it all out there. It's going to be really interesting to see who ends up with the fastest bike split, because he isn't gaining as much anymore on Thomas Bishop. But then the question for Starkey is, with that ankle, did he just put it all on the bike because he's not sure on the run? And you know, he's just going to do what he can, but he also just wants to put the imprint on the track, on the bike.
This is what happens, Rick. You know, with 1 to 2 laps to go, this is where you start seeing changes, where those athletes that are feeling good are going to start to pick it up, and those that have really pushed it a little bit too hard on a faltering, they're going to start falling back. But here he comes. Tom Bishop coming in. Shoes are off.
And again,
into T2.
We have, it looks like, a penalty-free bike for the men, which is a great thing once again. And coming into T2, the shoes are off. And Thomas Bishop's right in front of you, Shannon.
Yeah, as he makes his way getting ready to dismount his bike. Guys, one thing we have to keep our eyes on, you saw all of those mistakes taking place in T1 with the men. Tom Bishop obviously alone right now, the main pack a little bit further back, but expecting about 4 guys to come in all at the same time. We'll see how they handle that. You see Tom Bishop right now. He is looking pretty smooth so far. No socks for him as he's throwing on those sneakers, moving his legs around, as you guys mentioned, and putting on his sunglasses, a little nutrition, and heading out. But the next group is one we're definitely going to want to watch to see if they got all those mistakes out of the way back in T1.
Maybe a little tight there.
Those adductors did not look like they were happy, but you know what? Not looking like it's a problem right now. But yeah, adductors. There's nothing worse than adductors cramping up. But he looks okay. I mean, he's not flying out of transition. He's running up and down a little bit on the spot. He doesn't have that lovely forward lean that we saw with Angelica Olmo. As we can see now, Starkey also making his way in. Well done to Vincent Louis for not letting him go. So let's have a look and see how that ankle's going of Starkey. We know it was broken, probably not fully recovered.
And the gap almost exactly.
Come on, Shannon, what can you see?
You could see Starkey, Belinda, really taking some deep breaths. We know how hard he pushed it towards the end of that bike out there. You could see him really kind of, his cheeks were puffing up as he ran into transition. I was told maybe a little bit slower for Starkowitz. He might be a little bit longer here in transition. We'll have to see how that goes. We've got Vincent Louis in here. He's throwing on his sneakers right now as well. He's got his glasses in his hands. Want to see how long it does take these guys to get their legs underneath them. You can see Starkey's already limping a little bit, guys. Keep your eyes on that. We've talked so many times about that ankle, his concern. We'll see if he can last this run. Of course, we know he's not going to give up because he's never one to quit.
Well, you're right, Shannon. As we finish T2, Starkowitz gets passed by Seth Ryder there for third. Thomas Bishop, he's going to lead the way through transition 2. Can Vincent Louis make up ground as we start the run? We will see when we come back to Clash Endurance Daytona. Welcome back to Clash Endurance from Daytona. Here's the highlights from the start of our men's run. Out of T2, Thomas Bishop, so strong on the bike, came out in front, but was it enough? Andrew Starkowitz, he was second off the bike. Vincent Louis was able to get by Starkey in transition. We knew Vincent Louis was just biding his time until he was able to take over this race. Schomburg with the T2 bonus, thanks to Captiva Spine. Matt Hansen coming out strong as well, but it was Thomas Bishop that was out front. But was the gap going to be enough? Two athletes working great together in Jason West and Joao Pereira. Those two coming back from over 2 minutes behind the race leader. Vincent Louis was able to get by Thomas Bishop for the lead here at Daytona, as Louis out in front, 13 seconds in front of Bishop, 20 in front of Joao Pereira.
And you can see West now at 28, but oh, look, this is where Vincent Louis gets to finally have a really good look and see Zhao coming like a steam train.
He was looking over to the right. That's
there
where those
goes.
Other athletes are.
Yep, there he goes, and you can see him coming. And these two have raced each other many, many times.
Just saw Pereira go by Bishop. So now Pereira is second. Bishop falls to third. West is still fourth. Pereira now trying to reel in Vincent Louis.
He's moving, but Vincent is still holding. Like Vincent's at 20 seconds.
I agree.
So it was 24, but he's just losing the tiniest little bit. So Vincent, he knows he's coming, and he's just trying to pace it off.
And look at him. He doesn't look, I mean, yes, he's breathing heavy, but he still looks in control, Brent. He doesn't look like a guy that's at his last peg. He looks like if he has to go a little harder, he will, but I think he's biding his time. He's not going to burn his matches before he absolutely needs to. And Pereira coming, you've got Tom Bishop. Oh,
Jason West is still with a great kick. We saw him just outside of the screen moments ago, and Pereira's picking it up. West is picking it up. There he is.
This is an unbelievable finish. This is exactly what we wanted, and I'm so thankful that we're getting it. This is unreal. For the last race of the year, these men have been racing all year long.
The final lap, Vincent Louis out in front, Joao Pereira about 60 yards behind him as they go through turns 1 and 2 for the final time here at Daytona. Does Vincent Louis have enough to hang on, to stay in front of Joao Pereira? Listen to the breath there of Vincent Louis. The pace, the cadence, the rhythm. Vincent Louis pulling away from Pereira.
And look at that, 26 seconds. So I think he's doing exactly what you said he would do, Brent. He's decided, you know what? Now I give it everything. I give it everything that I have left in the tank, and I commit from here to the finish line. If I pull it off, I pull it off. If I don't, I don't. But I need to commit now. And look at that. It's gone out to 26 seconds.
So now the question is, Pereira and West.
Yep.
West is now gaining back on Pereira. So did Pereira take that chance to try and go for the win? And now he's hurting, and now is Jason going to come up and be like, all right, I'll take that second place.
Thank you very much.
In the final turns here at Daytona, Vincent Luis didn't get out of the water first, wasn't off the bike first, but was able to get up front here in the run. He passed Thomas Bishop for the lead, and he's looked back a couple times to see a little bit of a run from Pereira and West. But now Pereira looks like losing a little bit of the gas. As Vincent Luis through 3 and 4. For the final time, Vincent Luis, what a performance we have seen. Coming off of an injury before Bermuda, but then that win there at Bermuda. Has the momentum.
Yeah, he had some conviction when we were talking to him earlier. He wanted to win another race this year, and so, you know, I think Bermuda felt really good, and he felt, okay, I've still got it, and I still want to end the season. I still have a few more races. So he was confident coming in here, and I think he raced with confidence, but he also raced with smarts here. He's being really smart. He's got his lead. He's feeling comfortable. They're all almost evenly split now. There's 25 seconds between each of them. So I think at this point they're all kind of like, okay, this is where I am. Now let's get to the finish. Let's be economical. Let's not take any more risks. Let's just pace it off. And, you know, the hard racing, it happened. Pereira made that move. He tried, and that, you know, you got to love that. You got to love racing, taking a risk and going for it. And so now it didn't work, but he moved up. He cracked Jason West, and that's what he needed to do, because otherwise he'd be in a foot race and maybe come third. So now he's solidly in second. He did that work. Vincent is just, you know, smoothly, solidly here in first, and he knows he's got it. He's got a smile on the inside right now. You can't see it, but he's so smooth. This is going to be fantastic.
19 wins on the short course, draft legal circuits for Vincent Luis, and 118 starts. A veteran of the short course, the 3-time Olympian, 2-time world champion, is now going to start hearing the crowd bring him in.
Zipper goes up. Zipper goes up. This is what a professional athlete does. He knows he needs to get all of his sponsors in. Has another little quick look over just to make sure there's no surprises at the end of the day. Realizes now we see the smile as he comes into that finish chute.
And onto the red carpet with the finish line just in front of him. Right by the car, and it will be Vincent Luis. Vincent Luis, hands in the air. Vincent Luis is going to win Clash Endurance Daytona.
That was a perfectly executed race by Vincent Luis. Vincent Luis from France, the winner of our men's race, along with Angie Olmo, another French athlete winning the women's. So the double French for today, as Pereira also comes across, Italian Olmo, going out with a Frenchie.
Joao Pereira, second here at Clash Endurance. Great job, you heard from both.
And the next man across the
coming back into screen will be Jason West.
Yeah, I think Jason was hurting there, and now he's just like, all right, I got to get it home. Pereira brought some time back in the celebration stage there for Vincent, and here's Jason. He's put in such a good effort. What a good job for those long course guys. He was right in the thick of it.
What a day for Jason West. Podium finish for Jason West. Third here at Clash Endurance.
And what I love the most is we've got such a great mix of long course and short course athletes in our top 5, top 10. We saw it in the women's race, and we're seeing it now again in the men's race.
Right in the thick of it, Shannon.
We're down here with the guy that crossed that finish line first, Vincent Louis. How confident were you that you could hold them off at the end? Because we saw you didn't crack a smile until you saw the finish line in sight.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt a bit off like at the start of the bike, and I really wanted to help Seth Ryder, but I just did not have the legs. We were already riding above the watts I was planning to do, so I just decided to sit in and just see the race tactic, how it moves. I knew Tom is really aero, so I knew he would be fast in a course like that. And yeah, I was thinking maybe a minute, maybe 50 seconds I could have a gap with him. But yeah, when I start running and I heard like 120 or 115, I was like, well, that's gonna be a tough one. So I'm happy he blew up a little, and then yeah, I had to control the guys at the back. But yeah, Joao is a strong runner. I raced with him weekend in, weekend out, and yeah, that was good to have him also on the podium. I'm really grateful to be here, and I'm really happy for all the guys I'm sharing the podium with.
Yeah, let's follow up on that, right? Because I know it's been kind of a season of adversity, right, with the injury, and then of course you had the success at Bermuda, and now to win this. What's this like for you?
Yeah, you know, in 2020 I was in the form of my life, and obviously everyone knew now the Olympics were postponed, and in 2021 I got injured just before the Olympics, and yeah, that was a tough season. And then 2022 I got injured again. I tore my Achilles, and yeah, that was as I said in a few interviews, I went to like really dark places, and yeah, winning races again is just amazing, and holding the tape is just a feeling you can't buy, and I'm just so grateful to live the feeling that you can get when you cross the line. It has no price, and after tasting vinegar, honey is really sweet.
Vincent Louis has found his way to the top step of the podium and is your 2022 Clash Endurance Daytona champion. We'll hear from more athletes and wrap up our event when we come back. Welcome back to Clash Endurance from Daytona. Let's take a look at your top 10 men finishers. Want to take a look at the top 10 unofficial results here. Vincent Louis grabbing the victory here at Clash Endurance Daytona, 2:23.48. And Joao Pereira with a very valiant effort. Jason West and he working together as they work through the pack to get up there to be podium finishers. Thomas Bishop, we saw a really gutsy performance out of Thomas today.
Fantastic. And you know, I called him from the start, I think from our very first call over a month ago, our production call, and I said, let's watch out for him, he's going to be great. But Matt Hansen storming home with that traditionally amazing run that he has. Matt Sharp from Canada, also strong, having that incredible finish against Jonas Schomburg. Jackson Laundry in 8th, Seth Ryder in 9th, and Thomas Rodriguez in 10th. What I think is worth mentioning here, of the top 10, 5 for short course, 5 for long course. So we set the stage this morning, short versus long. We could not have predicted a better outcome. 5 out of 5.
Joao Pereira from Portugal, 2nd place. Stunning running performance out there. How did it feel?
I'm feeling very happy. It's absolutely amazing. I started the swimming and not feeling great, but it's like long distance and wait a moment and try catch your pace, and it's what I do all race. I try put my pace, and when start the running, I'm feeling better than the last week in Olympic distance because it's not so hard to push. It's more constant, and yeah, I have very happy for this performance. I'm surprised for what I can do, but it's amazing. I train a lot this year and have a very hard injury 2 years ago and need to stop a long time, and now can feel better again. It's amazing. I love the long distance, and yeah, it's the next step.
And I'm right next to Jason West. Talk to me about what happened in lap run and laps 2 and 3 on the run.
Yeah, you know, we were catching, and you know, the backboard, you get to see the split every time around, and I was like, oh, this might be possible. And yeah, I was just trying as hard as I can, and just ran out of gas a little bit, and we were working together, and I was thankful for that. It was just I was like, whether he gets me or not, we're getting way further ahead of everybody else. So let's work together, see if we can catch Vince. Came up just short, but that was a real battle. So super happy with the day.
So we started this morning, 10 o'clock, Lake Lloyd, the women were the first up. Sarah Perez Sala out of the water in first and onto the bike in first.
Took the lead and never looked back at the beginning and then got out on the run, but she could only hold off the charging Olmo for so long.
Then the men's turn to take to the water at 1 o'clock for their start. Schumann first out of the water with Vincent Louis. A few didn't make it. There was a pit stop in the middle. And then ultimately, it was Vincent Louis who was able to come home with Clash Endurance Daytona. Thanks for joining us here in Daytona.